Lori here. I'm here to do my March TBR. March is sometimes my least favorite month and my favorite month, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm a New York City public school teacher, and March is the only month and out of the whole year that we have no days off, like official days off. So it's a very, very long month, but so as a teacher, that is a struggle sometimes because the kids get crazy. We also have testing this month. They're going to be off the walls. But it's also good for my show because I have a month full week of rehearsals, which is actually really, really good, and I'm happy about that. Which means hopefully I can get a lot of staging and stuff done. So I have a lot of books planned. I always have a lot of book plans. I never read all my books. I also throw other stuff in. Like right now, I have 4 books out of the library. Also, this March is a little bit different because there are 3 or 4 very highly anticipated books coming out on March 3rd. I'm going to have a separate video talking about those. I think it's going to come out next week. But there are 3 or 4 books that come out March 3rd that I'm really excited about. Also, March is middle grade March, which means you should try to read middle grade. I have added a few middle grade to this TBR, but if I'm feeling more motivated, I might pick up more middle grade. Also, I'm filming this a little bit earlier, so I don't know the second Time Warp YA book club book. The first one is Obsidio, which is the last book in the Illuminate files, and I'm unsure what the second one is, but I will talk about that in my reading vlog when I get to it in my TBR. So I'm just going to show a couple of the books that are high on my TBR, and yeah, let's get into it. I'm really excited to read The Night Country by Melissa Albert. I did get this at ALA. This is the companion novel to Hazelwood. And I think if I'm remembering, this follows Ellery Finch, who is the boy that we met in the Hazelwood. And I remember I really liked him as like a character, so I really hope that I like this book. I wasn't the biggest fan of Hazelwood, but I'm willing to give this book a chance. So this is one of the books that I would love to get to in March. Another book that I would love to get to in March is A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kimmerer. This is the sequel to A Curse So Dark and Lonely, and this follows a couple of different perspectives. I know for sure it follows Harper. I know for sure it follows Gray, and there's a new character that it follows as well. The first one was a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I don't know if this is following the same vein, but I really loved A Curse So Dark and Lonely, so I really hope that I like this one as well. And this one is another bigger book, so been kind of avoiding reading bigger books, but I'm going to definitely add this to my TBR, and hopefully I'll really enjoy it. This is a library book that I wound up adding on this. It's A Voyage of Frostheart, and I wound up picking this up at the library. This is like a middle grade adventure story that's set in like a winter kingdom, I think. I really don't know much about it, but I know that when I picked this up at the library, I had gotten the audiobook a while. It has some really like pretty illustrations, and it's another like really like fast-paced adventure story. So I really hope that I like this, yeah, I heard about this on the Owl Crate channel. So another book that I wound up adding to my TBR was Scavenge the Stars, which was the Owl Crate book for the month of January. And this was from Tara Sim. Their cover is very, very minimalistic. And I think that this is a Count Monte Cristo retelling in space. I could be totally wrong about that, but I don't know much about it, to be very honest with you. I also am adding Havenfall by Sarah Holland to my list. I know this book it's set in the heart of Colorado, and there is a doorway inn that has a doorway that leads to magical lands, and this young girl winds up being its protector, I think, and she winds up having to save the day. Yeah. So it seems like it's a quicker novel. It's not even 300 pages, so I hope that I like it. And I really did like Sarah Holland's other series. I loved Everless a lot more than Evermore, but I still did enjoy both books. A middle grade March will not be a middle grade March without a Keeper of the Lost Cities book, so I am going to make it my mission to read Keeper of the Lost Cities Nightfall. Now this book is, let's see if I can tell you how many pages. It is almost 800 pages. But these books read so fast, so I think I might actually make this my next read, because then if I wind up reading it earlier, that's okay, and I can read another book. But I am really excited. I really am liking this series, and I'm excited to see what happens to Sophie and her friends next. This was the one that I'm really sad that I didn't get to, but it's Chosen, which is the sequel to Slayer. I remember I really liked Slayer. I thought it was really impressive. I know other people were not the biggest fan of it as I was, but I really enjoyed it, and I am willing to give this book another chance. So, or read it because I really liked the first one. Um, I've also added some books to this TBR that are like outside my comfort zone a little bit, so I'm going to talk about those next. I'm trying to get outside my reading comfort zone a little bit for the past couple of years, and I really have shied away from like adult or fantasy adult. So these are just 3 books that I've heard about from a lot of different channels. One from a convention that I went to that just I'm going to toss on this TBR and would love for them to like get read. One is The Assassin Apprentice by Robin Hobb. This one is one that recently Reagan read and really, really enjoyed. And when I was younger, this is all I read. Like, the young adult books didn't really exist. So this is what I read. So I really would like to get back into it. And it just sounds perfect. My friend in real life, Sarah, really likes this. She gifted me this copy. So I would really like to dive into this one and read it. I don't know much about it. I know that Reagan really enjoyed it, and I hope that I do as well. This is another Reagan pick, and it's Foundry Side by Robert Jackson Bennett. And this follows a girl named Sasha who's a thief, and that is all I really need to know. And it's set in a fantasy world. The sequel's coming out very, very soon. But I know she really liked it when she read it, and it seems right up my alley. Another book kind of going along this is called The Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hawkins. I got this from Penguin at New York City Comic Con. I actually bought it. But it's another genre that I haven't read books in, but I have so many. It's about like libraries. The one that I read recently that really caught my attention was Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. And the tagline just got me. Books that aren't finished by their authors reside in the Library of the Unwritten in hell. But when the restless characters who emerge from those unfinished stories escape, it is up to the librarian to track them down and keep the collections complete. That sounds awesome. Like, that just sounds incredible. I really hope that I like it. And if I like this, I might wind up reading The Invisible Library, which is on my top 10 books of the year. So hopefully I do like it. A lot of these books that I'm going to chat through are just arcs that I got at ALA that I wound up adding to this list. I don't know much about them, but I did wind up choosing them. So, Bone Choir Moons by Catherine Purdy is a book that is coming out March 3rd that I know I've heard very good things about. It's a high-stakes fantasy duology from the New York Times bestselling author of Burning Glass about a girl who must sacrifice the boys she loves to protect the living from the dead. That sounds awesome. This cover was also one that captured my attention. This is another one that comes out much later, but it is Sisters of Sword and Song, and these are both from Harper Teen, I think, or from Harper. And this is Two Sisters, One Unbreakable Bond, and this is a standalone fantasy from the Queen Rising author Rebecca Ross. And I think it follows 2 sisters who are dealing with a war, I think. I don't know much about it, but that's what I think it's about. And these did come from ALA. Another ALA book that I wanted picking up was We Are the Wildcats by Siobhan Vivian. This was one that Super Space Chick was really excited about, and I'm just going to read you guys the blurb. A toxic coach finds himself outplayed by high school girls on a team in his deeply suspenseful novel, which unspools over 24 hours through 6 diverse perspectives. So, this is a book that I'm reading for my friend Justin because he has a book I want, and it's A Mission by Julie Buxton, which is heavily inspired by the cheating scandal in the colleges. This follows a girl named Chloe who unexpectedly is revealed that her mom cheated her way to get her into college. I also love Julie. I've actually been reading a lot by Julie Buxton the past year. I've read 2 books by her, so this is another one on my list. It does not come out till May, but I am excited to dive into it. Also, going with the middle grade theme, Ghost Squad by Claribel A. Ortega is up. This book comes out in April, and I just like the little tagline. Be prepared, respect the dead, always have a cat. I think that's a cute tagline, and I really hope that I like it. It looks like it's a really, really cute middle grade story. And the last book I'm going to chat through in this video is a Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. And this is an unputable down thriller with as addictive and Miss Twisty as Serial and Making the Murderer. So those are all the books that's on my TBR. I really hope that I get to read most of them this month. Let me know in the comments what are some books you were super excited about to read in March, and I'll talk to you guys later for another video. Bye, guys.